welcome to Gab and Jam, episode 231.
And what are we talking about for this episode?
All right, so of course, I get inspired by other people's podcasts, and this is another one inspired by Online Marketing Made Easy. But this one is how to turn your critic into your coach. This one was like mind-blowing. It was empowering, and it kind of piggybacks on things that we already have talked about.
Right.
So I figured it's a great time to dust that idea off and talk about it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It offers a perspective change, because nobody wants negative comments. It hurts, and all that. But then you start thinking about what, especially for the inner voice. The inner voice is you beating yourself up. You said, I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm not, who am I to be doing this and all that. And so this is one way to kind of flip the script on that and start walking in power.
Well, I guess I think the thing becomes is what do you perceive as negative?
Mm-hmm.
So meaning that if someone says, hey, I like your song, I think your mix could, benefit from the vocals being louder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's negative.
No, it's
a critique,
constructive criticism.
Right, that's a critique, and so it depends on how it's done. It's sort of like if you're sending your stuff out for someone to take a listen and to give you meaningful feedback, and they come back and and they say something like that, or hey, your mix is a little bit rough here. It can use this, it can use that, or the vocals seem like they're a little bit off on this part, or maybe it seems a little bit stiff. You can kind of liven it up by doing blah blah blah, whatever. You might not want to hear that, because you may have sent it out to basically get confirmation. But I don't necessarily see that as negative. I mean, it's perspective,
right?
And it's a perspective that's different from yours.
Yeah,
but it's not negative. Now that's different from somebody saying, "Hey, your stuff sucks."
Right. Even with that, if you could find out a little bit more about why.
No, but what I'm saying is that may be meant to be negative.
Yeah.
And the person who said it meant it in a way to be negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we used to get that, like, I know we had one of our songs, Sanctuary. Actually, some of the critiques that I got from that was just hilarious. But and I mean that in a funny way. That I don't mean that like because people got upset because we said the word sanctuary too many times in the song. Well, that was their perspective,
right? And perception is reality.
It's like is this sanctuary? Is it sanitarium? Is it this? Is that? And it was a critique of the song. And after a while, that was a critique. I had to just let it live as it is. Yeah. Because it's sort of like, okay, that's a critique of somebody who doesn't like the song.
Right.
And you kind of got to realize, too, everybody's not going to like what you do.
Yeah.
There's going to be certain people who just dislike it, who hate it. Yeah. And that's fine, too. And I'm not saying that every piece of criticism, like sometimes with that type of criticism, it didn't necessarily give me something I could use.
Right. I guess that's the important part. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas sometimes people would give me criticism where it's like, really I wanted to like this song, but I couldn't hear the lyrics.
You feel like they wanted to like it because of what they tell you.
Right. It's like, but it's because of this or because of that. And there was this barrier. And it's sort of like, okay, that's something I can kind of look at and say, well, let me take this from a different perspective. Or if you find yourself getting the same criticism from different people.
Right. Non-motivated. They don't know each other. And so that means that there's probably something to say.
And maybe the way that they deliver it might be harsh or whatever else. But if you're seeing, this person says this, this person says this, this person says that, then that might be something to kind of look at and say, maybe I need to
work on
to look at that.
Yeah.
I know for us, with mixes, one of the things that I kept getting back was that the vocals were too low. That the vocals need to come up. And after getting that criticism over and over again, you had to get to a point where you say, okay, I need to bring the vocals up.
Yeah.
They're too low.
Yeah.
There are things I can do to make this better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the episode, she was talking more about negative self-talk. And what she said was, if you're feeling like insecure about something. And for her, the example was she was doing a podcast episode. It was one of her first. And she realized she didn't have a way to end the podcast, but she went ahead and recorded it anyway. And then she was saying to herself, oh, that, you kind of suck because you didn't have a closer for your podcast because you had no way to end it. You just, the way she ended it. And so she said, instead of her, beating up on herself, or instead of her saying, only say nice things to yourself, her method was to look at it and say, well, geez, if next time I come up with my exit, my tagline, and then this is how I'm going to close every podcast, or at least this is how I'm going to do it this first time. She said she felt more confident. She put the tagline under the camera, she was doing the video for the podcast. And then after that, that's one thing that she no longer beats up on herself because she has solved the problem.
Right.
So she said, this is what a coach would tell you. So that's what she says, to turn your critic into your coach. And even if it's the inner critic, what is it trying to tell you that if you're ashamed of something, if you're saying you suck about something, what is it? So similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Make it a to-do list. And then that way you're like, oh, you think you're hurting me, but really you're helping me.
Yeah.
The ideas, maybe the way it's said.
And again, I keep coming back to this point too, is that people may tell you things and they don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
There are some people who do. Mm-hmm. But some people, now we're kind of hypersensitive about criticism anytime that it happens. And so in that hypersensitivity, you start thinking, oh, this person's just a hater, this person just this. Like, no, it's that iron sharpens iron type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's gonna make you stronger because just like, you're gonna go and you're gonna make those areas better if you take that criticism and think about it. Now there's certain criticism too that you kind of have to take with a grain of salt. Like, stylistically, people might not like what you're doing. Right. And if it's something that you intended to do, then you have to know to stick with your guns. Yes. To say, no, this is my expression here. Mm-hmm. So this is a thing I'm not going to change because this is part of my expression. Right. If it's other things that aren't, and this is like, well, I did mean my vocals. I keep going back to that, but, but I did want people to hear what I was saying, right? And so I'm kind of, that's not the effect I was looking to go for. Right. And so to the extent that you're hearing that over and over again, then that's something you might want to tweak. Or, kind of going back to the other point, if there's something in you, if you are hearing a song and you're hearing something that's wrong in that song, you missed a note, this, whatever it is, go fix it. Yeah. Just fix it. Yeah. I don't care where it's at. There's been things I've uploaded to SoundCloud, I've listened to it, and I said, that's not right. Mm-hmm. And I've gone back, done it, and you can just re-upload stuff on SoundCloud. Yeah. Whatever it might be, you just may need to say, you know what, I gotta do this again. Yeah. I gotta redo it, you know, and if you do, you have to. Right. There's songs I've had to just start from scratch. It's like the foundation that I built the song on was horrible. Mm-hmm. And it was like I was in denial about it, and I kept stacking things on top of a horrible foundation, and I finally had to say, I gotta blow this up.
Well, and I think you're kind of saying that about videos too, right? Yeah. That you're in the moment when you're first recording, when we were recording the footage for the video, but then once you see it on, after you see it put together, you're like, okay, I could have, done something better, something different. Or even me, just you consuming the video. Yeah. That you say, well, geez, I would prefer, let's go take some more footage. Let's go do that. Right.
If you're in a position to do those things, I feel a lot better if I just go ahead and take care of it.
Because you need to be proud of it. Right. And in the end, since as a DIY rock star, you are your own press agent and all that, you don't want, and I've been there before, where you don't want to be feeling like there's something that could be better on something. It makes you not share. You are right about that. I remember that a long time ago. And you were saying, if you're not, feeling like you're ready to rock and roll with this, and no matter what anybody says, this is the bomb, then it's probably going to fall flatter. Or you're probably going to have less motivation to actually share it, to, be knocking on doors to say, listen to this song.
Because you're already insecure to begin with. Yeah. And so then when the criticism comes, especially the criticism that points out the thing that you're already insecure about, you're really going to feel bad about that. And that's why you have to make sure that you are listening to your inner critic even first. Yeah. That first of all, when you are sending it to someone else, right? Don't send it to someone else if you already have this insecurity within yourself. You know, I mean, just realistically, get it to the point where, now, there might be certain things you might be insecure about, like, you know, is the song good? Is it, you know, is this a hit? And those type of things. I'm not talking about that type of insecurity. I'm talking about insecurity and things that are a little bit more objective.
Okay.
You know, whether or not, you know, the time is right on the song's in tune. That, you know, the mix, is there too much echo? Is there too much, you know, reverb and all the rest of that kind of stuff? For the type of song that you're trying to do.
Is the intro too long?
But these are types of things that, you know, and the intro too long, that might be one of those type of things somebody needs to tell you about.
Right.
And somebody might need to tell you about those type of things. But, you know, these are things where I just think that to yourself, if you're asking yourself, and if you're asking yourself if the intro's too long, cut it.
Yeah, that sounds like a trigger to me that perhaps it sounds like some type of indication that you think it is.
Yeah, you know, I know for me, especially with lengths of songs have to convince me to make them longer.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with a song.
Right.
And so a song has to convince me along the way it needs to be longer.
Yeah.
It needs this part, or this part should go longer, or this part, you know, so it's got to, if there's a 5-minute song that we have, that song has talked to me and has convinced me that it needs to be 5 minutes long.
Right. Oh my goodness.
You know, it's like, I'm not going to do it.
And I actually want to do some longer remixes of some of them, even longer than that. So yeah, I get it.
Right.
Because I'm hearing that one part needs to be like, you know, the disco version. I know we don't have those anymore, but
I'm always thinking in terms of, I want a person to feel like they want to hear it again.
More, So
that's the way I'm always thinking about it. So I want to leave you wanting, saying, even if it's like, oh, I need to rewind it back to that part again. Yeah. Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I want that. Then you to be like, oh my God.
When is it ever going to be hard? Well, let's fast forward through that.
Right. Yeah. That's the last thing you want.
Yeah, I like that. There's also some more information about self-sabotage, but we will put that in the blog post, give you some incentive to go over there. All right, so again, this is an important shift to me. This is like a game changer, to think about criticism or your inner negative talk as a way that can help you. To me, if people can embrace that idea, you know, and if I can stay the course in embracing it for myself, to me that is a game changer. What do you think? What works for you? How do you use that voice to be the coach to make you better? We'd love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. And what else?
Sugar Fix. So you can stream it everywhere. You can get CD. You can get it from CD Baby. You can get it from Bandcamp. And we also have
ringtones.
Yes.
So if you want that special funky ring like no one else, make sure you click the link below to get Sugar Fit ringtones. If you dig the vibe and you want to be a part of the tribe, be sure to
subscribe.
We're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.